What are you doing, Chris?
Oh, hi. I'm playing with my Buffalo Vibrator.
What does it do?
Now they're really burned in. So we're going to talk about headphones again. LCD origins. So this is the origin of the LCD headphone right here. This is an LCD2. It's a newer pair, but still, LCD2, this is the headphone that put us on the map. This made us famous. So the LCD2 is planar magnetic headphone, obviously. LCD2s use our ultra-thin diaphragm, which is about 4.5 microns thick, which is still really thin. LCD2s also have staggered magnets. So you have magnets like this with the diaphragm running in between, instead of stacked like this with the diaphragm running in between, which is what most of our other headphones have. So this is kind of a unique design. It distributes the magnetic flux really well across the diaphragm without need for any variation of trace thickness, which we do on some of the other models. So the LCD2 is a warm sounding headphone. It's detailed and musical and great to listen to, but it's not our most detailed or revealing model or our most neutral. It's, like I said, it's slightly warm.
How does it feel to be famous, Chris?
Tell me when you find out.
What's the thing behind you, Chris?
So behind me here we have the infamous Audeze burn-in rack. So when we're burning in LCD headphones, they go on this rack. Right now we're burning in LCD2s and LCD-Xs. And you can hear the song that's playing. I've been listening to it now for 5 years straight. It is by Joe Sample. It's called Viva de Funk. And this will play all night long. When the production team leaves for the evening and they start burning in headphones, they plug this thing in, put it on repeat, and it plays the same song over and over and over again. I don't know what else to say about that. So this is the LCD2 Classic, which is the same exact driver as the LCD2, but it doesn't have phasers, which are the pointy things on the inside. So if you feel on the inside here, it's really smooth. It's just like it's a steel plate really inside there underneath the mesh, and that's where the driver is. When you feel that on the LCD2s, the regular ones, you'll feel the kind of pointy triangles. And so people ask us, how do I know if my headphones have phasers? And that's how you tell. You feel in here. If it's flat like that, no phasers. If it's kind of bumpy triangles where the magnets are, then you have phasers. So LCD2 Classics, this is kind of a reinvention of the original LCD2 that made us famous. We decided to go back. People were asking for it, the non-phaser LCD2. So we made this headphone as kind of the entryway to our full-size LCD line. So we used Delrin rings with used the old kind of old-fashioned style connectors, and we used leather-free strap and leather-free ear pads just to keep costs down, so we can keep this under $1,000. So LCD2 Classics are even warmer than the LCD2s that we make now. They have a really wide open soundstage. Feels like all the musicians are kind of surrounding you. Whereas with the regular LCD2s, it kind of feels like they move in a little bit closer. It's not a closed-in soundstage by any stretch, but just kind of more direct. Whereas this is a little more diffuse, a little more open sounding, but not as easy to pick out where everybody is exactly. Nice full bass, full treble, really good sounding headphone. Great for the money, but like I said, it's our warmest headphone, not the most accurate thing we make. It's just a really fun headphone to listen to, and it gets you in at a great price. So moving on here, we have the closed-back version of the LCD2 Classic, also known as LCD2 Closed-Back. So this is the same exact headphone as the LCD2 Classic, but instead of the open back grill, we put these nice cups on. So they're a closed back headphone. There's some stuff going on inside the cup to ameliorate reflections. It keeps the excess treble frequencies and stuff from bouncing back into your ear quite as much. So for a closed back headphone, this is a really good one. Sounds great, nice and open sounding for a closed back, but it provides that isolation that sometimes you need. If you need isolation and you want a warmer closed back headphone, this is your guy. If you want something that's more neutral in a closed back headphone, take a look at the LCD XC. So we've got here the LCD 3. This is like the LCD 2, but taken to the next level. So more detail, really warm, juicy, beautiful sound, gorgeous mid-range, but lots more detail and treble extension, more bass extension, super clean sounding headphone. But it has an impedance of 110 ohms because it has a longer voice coil. So what that means is you need a bit more power out of your amplifier to really make these sing than you do, say, from an LCD 2 or an LCD X. The LCD 3 was our first headphone that used stacked magnets rather than staggered magnets. Like the LCD 2 has staggered magnets, this has stacked magnets, so we can fit more magnets in the space. We get kind of tighter grip on the diaphragm, so we have more control over how it moves compared to the LCD 2. Now we're at the top. This is the LCD 4. Blingy chrome, beautiful ebony wood rings. This headphone we took basically everything we learned in going from the LCD 2 to the LCD 3. We took the LCD 3 and said, how can we make this better? What can we do? Well, first thing we did was we used our fluxor magnets. So what we have is 1.5 Tesla of magnetic force directed right at the diaphragm. Almost nothing is wasted by sending it out backwards like a regular magnet does. That's our fluxor magnet technology. Then we also used another patented thing. We have on here our nanoscale diaphragm. So this diaphragm is about 0.5 microns thick, which is thinner than a red blood cell on the skinny side of a red blood cell, not the fat side. So this is skinnier than the skinniest red blood cell, which means you have more detail, lower distortion, faster transient response, all that good stuff, coupled with the extra strong magnetic field that it's sitting in. So we have ultimate control over how the diaphragm moves back and forth, really. So it has an even longer voice coil than the LCD 3. This is a 200 ohm headphone with even lower efficiency by a few dB than the LCD 3. So you really need a strong amp to make this headphone sing, but the rewards that you get from a strong, powerful amp and this headphone is just amazing. Like, so much detail, so much gorgeous information. It's so expansive. If budget's not really a concern and you just want the best thing we can make, it's right here. As long as you've got the amp to make it sing. That's the only drawback to this. If you want to use a lower powered amp and have a similar sound, LCD 4Z is your guy. But this is bomb. And we have master engineers and a few mix engineers that use these headphones because they're super accurate, but they still provide all that kind of juicy, beautiful warmth that the LCD 2s and 3s have in a more uncolored sort of way with more frequency extension, super low bass. I think bass is flat on these to about 6 hertz, 5 hertz, and it goes out well beyond 50 kilohertz. These headphones also come with a special cable that was made for the LCD 4s, which is an advanced version of our standard LCD cable, which is silver-coated copper conductors, all cryo-treated, super high-quality connectors from Neutrik and other makers. LCD 2s have This is the stuff my wife loves. She loves the B-roll or the bloopers.
Yeah.
Anytime we have like a DVD of some movie, where are the bloopers?